Alright guys, let's start with the next video. In this video we will be creating OpenShift trial and AWS account. AWS account I've already created, and currently at this time of the year AWS is giving $200 credit for everyone who creates a new AWS account. So make sure that you follow my video. I have a playlist on how to create an account, and as well as how to get this $200 credit on your account. So currently I have $200 already loaded on my AWS for free, because AWS is giving out. So you will see $100 only, but I've created a videos, and if you follow those videos, you will see how I added 100 more credit into this one. So there are a few activities which you need to complete to get this done. So please follow that, and watch those videos and subscribe to my channel as well. The next one is like go to Google and type OpenShift trial, and then create OpenShift trial over here. There are this option where you can create a OpenShift cluster called Rosa from AWS. We're not going to do that in this video. So rather than that, just come down and you will see Red Hat OpenShift over here. And then there is something called try it. And also there is one more over here, product trial over here, container platform. So you can select the container platform, and then there is this trial version over here. For you to become eligible for trial, you need to have a Red Hat ID, which is free to create. So when you just click on start a trial, and then you will be able to see a login information. I've already done that. That's why you're not able to see that. It has already started the counter. It is giving you 60 days of a trial version of this particular OpenShift. So once you complete the registration and you log into this, and you enable this trial, you will be able to see all these options over here. Once you're in all these options, most of the links over here goes to documentation. The only link which does not go to documentation is this one, Red Hat Hybrid Cloud Console. Now, once you enter this cloud console, you'll be able to see a setup for your cluster. You'll be able to see how else you can configure OpenShift. These are different ways you can actually have OpenShift configured. One of the ways which we're going to do in this training, I'll tell you about that. Under the fleet manager, go to cluster and click on create a cluster, and you will get to the page which we got redirected. So there are three ways to run OpenShift. Okay, the first one is the local, where you can run it on your local system, where you can download OpenShift for Windows and or Linux or Mac operating system and have that running on your system. The problem is that OpenShift creates about 120 to 200 pods. So that's not possible for you to run it on any desktop or laptop. So it's always recommended to go for either data center or cloud. If you do it on the local system, that's still okay, but it's gonna take a lot of resource of your system and not be able to do other work on your system. So data center is basically you have the data center servers, and then you can install this on the data center, or else you can go for cloud platforms, where you can install this OpenShift trial on the cloud platform and then have that working. Now you can see that there are different options over here, like Red Hat dedicated trial, you have OpenShift dedicated, blah blah blah. And as I told you, Red Hat OpenShift on AWS, which is Rosa, so that is also there over here. But all these are like paid versions, nothing on trial version. So do remember that even though you have OpenShift trial, OpenShift as a software is trial for 60 days. But the base servers which you're going to run this on will be charged. So do remember that you will be charged for the infrastructure. Now the infrastructure will be coming from the cloud. So you need to have integrated the cloud and OpenShift together. To do that, you have to select AWS over here. So I'm using AWS my own instance. So this means that I'm going to use automation and create an infrastructure on AWS, where I'm not using Rosa, because Rosa is like predefined configuration. I don't want that. So I want to use bare metal system like x86 architecture systems, and then use automation to install um, OpenShift trial version, whichever we have right now here, on the bare metal systems on AWS. So to do that, just click on that and click on automated method. Automated method lets you have your all the infrastructure provisioned and host controlled with AWS provider. Now, full control is basically where you get highly customizable and things, and you have to do a lot of configuration in this because you have to do all the decisions on create your cluster. So you have to manually do everything. So rather than that, this is auto provision infrastructure with minimum configuration to create cluster. So that's good enough for us. So select automation. Now, when you select the automation, you can see that we have three steps to follow. The first step is that you need to have the OpenShift installer. So this will have the all the files that is needed for the installation of OpenShift on any operating system. So you can only run it on Linux or Mac operating system. So Windows cannot be done. Even though you can install AWS command line on the system, which is Windows, you can install everything on this Windows, but you cannot actually run or configure clusters on AWS using Windows. So we need a Linux system. And then you have the pull secret. So pull secret will be used when you're doing the installation. So this pull secret will enable you to install OpenShift on the AWS environment, where the secret is basically tells you the license information of OpenShift. So that's another thing. And then OpenShift command line. This you can download it for Linux and have that ready, or have that transfer to the Linux server once it comes down. So all these three items have that downloaded in your system or in downloads and keep it ready. So all these three I have downloaded and kept it ready. The next thing is that I need to go to the console over here, go to EC2 instance. As I told you, you cannot run OpenShift installer on Windows. There's no support for it, so you need a Linux system for it. So EC2 instance, click on launch instance, and then I'm just gonna say temp server. So in this temp server, I'm gonna put AWS Amazon Linux, and then I'm gonna select small as the instance because I need 2 GB of RAM at least for faster response. And then if you don't create a key pair, just create a key pair. And when you create a key pair, make sure you select PPK because this is going to be used for your putty. Just give a random name and then just select PPK and then create key pair. I've created a default key pair. And then these are network settings and SSH is allowed from anywhere. And also there are some customized port which needs to be enabled for you to browse the console of OpenShift. Okay, so without that, you'll not be able to access the console of OpenShift, which we will talk later point of time. So here I'm just making it 16 GB. So as of now, we're not installing OpenShift on this server, but we will be installing it on a different server. So we need to figure out which security group it is using and then configure the port numbers which can access OpenShift. So click on launch instance. Alright, so now the instance is launched successfully. I can see the instance ID. So now go back to EC2 instance. Okay, the instance started running. So copy the public IP of the instance. So I already did run one instance. I'm just going to duplicate that or probably edit it. So here is the public IP address of the instance, EC2 user, and go to advanced settings, private key, and then I'm going to use the private key which I downloaded. I'm using MobaXterm. You can use this configuration on any putty manager. So I'm using MobaXterm. So now I've just edited that. I'm just gonna connect. Yeah, there you go. So though I didn't change the name of this, it's still using the old name. but it's able to connect. So I'm in the server. So this is how you have to connect to the instance. On the next video, we will see the next steps on how to utilize these three files, and I will create a user with access so that you can connect the user. Through user, you will be able to connect to the AWS configure, and how to install AWS, command line utilization, all those things we will see on the next video. Thank you again for watching this patiently. I'll see you on the next one.